Let's move to a very underwhelming football team this year. That would be Texas A&M, the #1 recruiting class in the country, ranked top 6 in the country in the preseason. They lost to Auburn with an interim head coach. 13-10 was the final score. They are officially no longer bowl eligible this season. So overreaction Monday, that's the game. Felder, Texas A&M is the biggest disappointment in recent college football history.
What's recent?
We'll go my recent's last 20 years.
Last 20 years. So that includes Michigan, App State.
That would include Michigan, App State.
So I don't think so.
Only counter would be that Michigan team ended up making bowl games, winning games, just not national title, right?
It's true. That's a good point, but they didn't lose. Well, I mean, both of these teams lost to App State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good trend.
But I don't think anybody believed in A&M as much as we all believed in Michigan. I thought Michigan was going to win a national championship that year. Yeah. And then I never did we come into the season thinking A&M was going to win a national title?
We thought they were going to be competitive in the West. I think
competitive
that's as far as we got.
As be like a 9-3 team.
Be the second team in the West, right?
That was the hope. The hope.
The hope. That's what we were trying to speculate that it would be if they got the quarterback position under control.
So you know what? I'll say it. Yeah, biggest disappointment ever. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hey,
I'm with you. Let's do it. And by the way, shout out to Cadillac.
Exactly. My man Lack, man. He pulled out the first victory. Did you see the post-game interview?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. Shoeless with a game ball. Boom. I was like, yes, that's my guy right there.
Let's go. I love it. Cadillac. Shout out to Cadillac. They did their job. Those guys went out and played football. And I mean, listen, Jimbo Fisher, you're supposed to be this quarterback guru, quarterback whisperer.
Nothing. Exactly. Hold on. Oh, that's right. Nothing. That's right. Nothing. And my thing is how much longer is that leash in Texas A&M for him?
I don't know how much longer he wants to be there is the other question.
Yeah. I mean, Dunzo. I'm like, that #1 recruiting class will probably be good for another coach when they actually hit their prime in their junior year.
He couldn't take the pressure at Florida State.
No.
There's more pressure at A&M.
Especially as much money as they've thrown at him.
Yeah.
At that program.
So what's he do?
Goes to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, you think?
I'm just joking. No. I don't think he'd fit in up there. First of all, the people wouldn't understand his press conferences, so he would be lost automatically.
Him putting peanuts in a Coke bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'd be done. They'd be done with him. Probably be trying to shove cheese curds in a Coke bottle up there. I don't know. It's not working. No, absolutely not. And it's sad because, as a pure SEC fan myself, you want everybody to be strong. You want the guys to look how we think they are, because the narrative that's going to be outside of the Power Five, right? Outside of the SEC and the rest of the Power Five is, see, they're frauds when you put them up there. Yep. They don't deserve as good of a ranking year in and year out, because look at the Texas A&M experiment. We put them up there time after time again, and they continually let us down. They have not once proven us right that they deserve to be up there, and we keep putting them up there. So what is the point of all these recruiting rankings, power rankings, and everything else?
Bingo.
They're going to poop the bed, and they're going to let us down. And now of course I can say that's one of our outliers, because you look at the rest of the league, and the rest of the league is getting better. They're rising to the occasion.
Yes, I will say this. We are seeing teams get better. Vandy beat Kentucky this weekend.
Exactly.
What?
Cheers, Clark Lee.
Cheers. Cheers to Clark
Lee. We didn't have our cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers, Clark Lee.
And is that a Jimbo thing though, or is there anything institutional at A&M that's contributing to this? Because, what do you got, Felder?
It's a little column A, a little column B.
Okay.
Jimbo, let's be real. The best season that he ever had was what? With Jameis Winston, right?
Correct.
Jameis was a high quality quarterback.
Yeah.
So he covered up a lot of madness and a lot of mess. And even the year after they won the title, they still got to the playoff, but it was a team full of mistakes and flaws. And you talk to Florida State fans now, and they're like, see, listen, you get what you ask for. And so Florida State fans are sitting there looking at A&M like, we weren't upset that he left. It's the same thing, and I'll draw a parallel here. Oregon fans that are looking at Miami and going, we're good. We're good. We're good without him. Like, it's one of, it's like, yeah, it's like when like somebody thinks they steal your girl and then like, oh, she's a psycho.
Exactly.
Or she cheats, they steal your girl and then she cheats on them. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, I know. I've already experienced this.
I've already gone through what you're about to go through. You saved me the headache.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, your homeboy's like, man, I saw your girl walking down the street with so-and-so. Good luck.
Have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm just picturing the I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show, but How I Met Your Mother, very just a sitcom, right, from the last 10 years where they've
we
got
know
the
How I
crazy
Met
hot
Your
scale.
Mother.
They've got the crazy hot scale, right?
Yes.
And there's a very clear correlation to crazy and hot. Well, I don't know that I'd call Jimbo Fisher hot, but he has some pretty sexy recruiting classes.
See, I would flip it around.
Yeah?
I would say, I don't know if I would call A&M sexy.
Okay.
I think that they're crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. See, you see what I'm saying? Like I think Jimbo is a good coach. He didn't forget how to coach football. I do think that he's not as good as we maybe have treated him in the past. I think he is an okay football coach. I think he's a good football coach. I don't think he's a great football coach. And I think the difference between being a good football coach and being a great football coach that's important to note, right?
Yeah.
Because there was Urban Meyer is a great football coach. Maybe not the best person, but he's a great football coach. Nick Saban, obviously, great football coach. I think Gary Patterson, there was a time in there where he was a great football coach. Chris Peterson, there was a time where he was a great football coach. I think Jimbo with Winston was a great combination and a good football coach. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't it's hard to be a great football coach.
Yeah, and we're quick to crown, and I guess now where programs are so quick to get off of coaches, because they want the microwave effect. That's where we don't really get the tenure.
Yeah,
can determine greatness from good year.
Yes,
right, because it's usually a stepping stone, and they're gone.
Bingo.
And if they are at the height of it and they don't sustain this high level of success, a la Nick Saban and Dabo for a while, we're quick to say, nope, they're not as good anymore. Get rid of them. Ship that guy off. Gus Malzahn, right? I mean, prime example of that.
I think he's a great coordinator.
Great coordinator. Great mind for that side of the ball.
Yes.
And heck, we don't even know Matt Rule was on that ascension, but then he took the NFL job.
Bingo.
He didn't stick with the Baylor job, or he didn't take a higher D1 job. He jumped straight into the pros, and now he is taking the Escalooser back down to the NCAA level, just like every other coach before him that thought that they could jump from college to the pros.
Yeah.
And it's a different mindset, and that's the one thing I do wish. There was longer commitment, but then again, we wouldn't have the transfer portal, right? If coaches actually stuck with their responsibilities.
Yeah, dude, listen, Greg, and you listen, I went to UNC. Dean Smith was terrible early.
Yeah.
They literally, no lie, Max, they literally hung him in effigy. People hated this guy. And then he figured out what he was supposed to do, and it took him a few years, and he got it together, and then he became arguably and I said arguably, so everybody else shut up. I said arguably. He became arguably the best college basketball coach of all time. And we don't give that grace to anybody anymore. We don't give that grace to people anymore. And it's one of those things, like, unless you're a name like Harbaugh, who else? Who else?
Stoops would be another one.
Stoops, sure. But
because he got 10 years to grow and there wasn't a high expectation.
Yeah, Stoops, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
That was 20 years ago, right?
Yeah. Well, no, Mark, Kentucky.
At Kentucky, but Kentucky wasn't going to hire anybody else.
Well, they weren't, but you would assume. But we saw him grow because he had time on his side.
He had time, yes. Oh yeah, and
that's the thing you don't get anymore. You don't get time.
You don't get time, and time is so important. You need time. You have to have time to build. And it's been interesting. Think about Satterfield at Louisville.
Yeah,
people were ready to fire him after game 4.
Yeah,
and look what he's done now.
So here's my only pushback on the time narrative as it applies to this situation, because I think in general across the board in college sports, you are dead on. I could name 100 examples, both in basketball and football, of guys just being, you have no idea what they'll turn out to be 5 years from now, and they don't get the time to see. Yeah. The problem with that, as this applies to Jimbo Fisher, to me, is, do you really get time when you are spending your off season antagonizing the greatest coach in college football?
Oh no, he doesn't
shorten that up a little bit.
No, not for him. We're not talking about time for him.
Okay.
No, we're not talking about time for him. We're speaking in generalities because Jimbo has had time. Yeah. We kind of know who Jimbo is now. We can track a chronology from top program to top program that he's gotten. So he doesn't apply in this category. Because like you said, you win a natty with FSU, you jump ship, go to Texas A&M, where it is absolutely a war chest available to you.
Yep.
And every resource you can think of, and he's fumbled the bag every single time.
It's literally like showing up into a kitchen that has every single thing top of the line that you could ever use, and then you still burn the bread. Like what happened? Well, the flour was old, so I wasn't sure about, I didn't know what kind of, this is a different sugar than I'm used to using. And
is turbinado or sugar in the raw? You're trying to figure it out. Yeah, no. Yeah.
And the fish, I don't know, this fish was turbo, but I don't know if it was fresh turbo, and like, what are we doing? Like, I'm like, no, come on, man. You're supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watch Top Chef. I do. So that's what I was thinking, was like, you're supposed to walk into the kitchen with your knife roll and be ready to rock and roll.
No, I watch Chopped. So same type of thing. Like, hey, whatever you give me, that's what a great coach is, right? Is Chopped.
That's what is that? Bear Bryant?
In the basket, we gonna make it do what it do.
That's Bear Bryant. Isn't that Bear Bryant?
Yeah, absolutely.
A good coach, the best coach can take his, and he can beat you with yours, and he can beat you with his. Like, that's exactly, and that's not what we're seeing right now.
No, absolutely not. And that's where now you have to come to that crossroads where you have to make that decision. I think this is one of those moments where it's gonna be interesting to see how it moves forward after that. Yep, exactly. At the end of the day, it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And Jimbo is owed a lot of money.
Yeah.
But what's that headache look like?
Yeah. Right.